This one
came off the fingers perfect.
Oh, it just rolled. I had a great little finger roll on it too. I caught good wind and good flow with the water. Hit her right in the hat. The hat didn't want any part of it and just fucking garage sailed out. Then it just, boom, busted all the way down. And she said she looked over and she's like, Joe and CERN just froze, like solid. And you guys were all like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
I saw the blood. I was like, oh my God, he just smoked her in the head.
Welcome to the Chip and CERN Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that this show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I'm Chip.
I'm CERN.
And you were listening to the Chip and CERN Show.
Yes. Once again. Or very possibly for the first time.
Yeah. And it's CERNy. It seemed like just yesterday we were hanging out, and here we are today, back on the virtual setup.
Back to the old studio garage. But we did have our annual. What is this probably? What number on the annual list? On the annual, I don't know.
I'm going to put it in the teen. Somewhere between 8 to 12 annual.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
4th of July hang. I guess. Is that the official time? Hang Fest 23. And all the usual suspects. CERN, Joe, and Dana, and Chip. We're all there.
They were there.
Surrounding parties. Affiliated people.
Affiliated guests.
But I had a great time. I'm exhausted though. I was just telling you, I'm wiped.
Yeah. I think after this I'm probably just gonna reserve a space on the couch.
Stick a fan on you.
Just reserve maybe a little nap time, just a little
20-minute little siesta.
20-minute. I'm thinking, I'll be thinking with my eyes closed.
Exactly. And I actually taken a longer vacation, but we went to Roseville where we all grew up, minus CERN. CERN lived in a neighboring city. And so we stayed a couple days there, got a hotel with a pool, but we arrived, it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. It was probably 100 and it was just unbearable on Monday, I think, when we showed up.
That was one of the hot ones. I think Sunday, Monday was like, woo.
And you guys, you had it. Someone, in this, we would go to the grocery store and I'm like, it's hot. And they're like, oh, well, you're lucky you missed Saturday. It was 100 and I heard 111, 109. What was the? I think
it was like 110, something like that. Yeah, it was.
Lord Almighty.
You're in trouble when you wake up and it's already like 80 degrees. You're like,
Or you're just lying in bed and you're like, man, I'd love to fall asleep. And you look at your phone. You're like, maybe I'll open the window, get a nice breeze, and you look in your phone. It's 87.
Yeah, you're like, oh well.
You're like,
we're in for a rough one.
Yeah. And everyone.
But it cooled down for the 4th, so it wasn't too bad.
It did. It cooled down. I would say, seemed maybe in the mid 90s, which felt like a break.
Oh yeah, it felt like a break. And plus, it's, you know what? You don't want it too cold if you're going to the pool. Remember a couple of 4th of July's where it was like 82. You're like, and there was that breeze. You're like, get in the pool, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, because it cools. It's like cooling your internal temperature down.
Yeah.
With that, you can't. And you're drinking all the frosty bevies, too.
Yep. Yes, you are.
That'll do it. But, we had a good time. The party, the festivities kicked off. But there was some tomfoolery happening behind the scenes between.
There was.
So, as maybe Cerny sluts know, your wife, her birthday is also on the 4th of July.
Shares with America.
She shares it with America. And your wife, for whatever reason, it's her own decision, obviously, would rather not the the spotlight be pointed on her.
Yeah,
for her
no,
birthday.
she doesn't want to be the center of attention now.
Yeah, so she'll take the 4th of July because that's an easy. No one's wondering whose birthday it is. It's America's birthday, and she's cool with that. So we had a joke going on the chat about time to celebrate. We need to celebrate this birthday, this very important birthday week.
Yes, absolutely.
And your wife was not interested in this at all on the chat.
No, because we kept saying celebrate Robin. No.
So this is happening on the chat with the husbands and the wives. But then there's the husband's chat with Chip Jones, like the normal one, and then Cerny's getting separate intel that he's sending, like, oh, we're like grabbing tacos, and she's worried that there's going to be a proper birthday party for her, like, So just fanning the flames, and then now armed with this new intel, we go back into the chat and stir it up again. It's just, you
have to. Anything to get under someone's skin.
And so we've been pushing this joke along for a couple days, but I don't remember, how did the initial concept come up that we decided to do?
I don't know.
Team shirts, we'll say, uniforms.
Yeah.
With tank tops, with your wife's photo, and it just says "Celebrate Robin."
With the shades.
With the deal with it, like pixelated 80s shades. Be wearing them. So we decided that this was a good idea, and we would all invest our hard-earned $25 to make it happen. Secrecy, though, very secret. I enjoyed it. It was. I was telling my wife, I was like, "This could be our magnum opus. That this is this is the greatest." Because usually we're so excited, we kind of fumble it a little bit, and the word gets out, or your wife catches on. She's very sharp, so she's catching on to what's happening as well. This one surprisingly kept no leaks.
Sealed tight.
No leaks. And your wife even, and certainly this is, I would say, dare I say, pure genius on your part. Your wife had a separate idea to make shirts for you guys.
Yes,
and
the margaritas.
Oh. I mean, the song of the summer, it makes sense that you would make a shirt. Yeah. So that was the perfect, literally, we couldn't have written up a better diversion to throw your wife off the scent.
Yeah, because if I had said, no, I'm good, she'd have been like, what?
You're like, what do you mean you're good? You're like, no, I got something else going on with custom shirts right now.
Yeah.
You don't. It's on a need-to-know basis. And
you'll see.
You don't need. Yeah, you'll see. That would have sent red flags sent off for your wife.
Alarms would have been going off.
So you had these margarita shirts made, and then the couple days before 4th of July, maybe it was on the 1st, I think we kind of started, we let it die down, the chat died down a little bit, which maybe was our only tell. We were too quiet, potentially.
Yeah, it was crickets there for a little bit.
It was, okay, so maybe next time we can, throw some sparklers.
But I don't think she just moved on.
Okay. You mean we're not the top of your wife's like
chat list? No,
yeah.
Probably not.
I wonder how the boys are doing. Yeah, but it was great. So we got to the party and we ordered an extra one for your not young. He's a
Jeffrey, yeah.
Yeah. Not
11.
Young 11, right there. Which he seems all in. He was all in on the idea as well.
He was all in.
And I would say when the reveal happened, which we'll get to, her response to him wearing the shirt was like she saw the betrayal brand that her youngest son got Judas right in the back,
sporting the uniform. Everyone else.
So
I think it's because she anticipates us four to be idiots.
Yes. So everyone kind of got there, got settled. Dana, whoever showed up, and then it was like, okay, everyone be kind of hanging out for what, 20, 30 minutes maybe. Everything is settled down, and your wife goes and gets in the pool and is kind of floating around, and I'm like, oh, perfect. Because now you don't have to worry about her, catching on to what.
Where's everyone going? Why is everyone leaving?
Exactly.
With Jeffrey, that would have been the key.
Oh,
like we weren't around, but if Jeffrey follows us, that would have been the
okay.
What's going on here?
Then and by this time the other wives had been alerted, so they had their phones ready, to capture this moment. We went out, we did a wardrobe change, and we walked back into the backyard. And your wife, she was just probably off in a relaxation zone.
Yeah, she was.
And then we were all kind of like waiting for her to see, and and then she kind of like looked at us, and she saw something was up. Like she's like, "Oh, they're all wearing the same thing." And then we had to get a little closer, and then like you saw like her face just totally changed once she realized what it said. And then
smile turned to like a stern,
it was
like what the hell?
And
she picked up on the words first. She's like, "Oh my God!" And then it took her a little bit because she couldn't see. And then we got close. She's like, "Is that my freaking picture?"
Yeah. So then there was another couple beats, and she's like, "Is that my face?" And we're like, "Yeah, with sunglasses on." And then she saw her youngest son, her youngest child, also betrayed her and went with Team
Boys.
Yeah.
So yeah, she. Yeah, no, it's Jeffrey. Like,
oh yeah,
how could you?
It was such the pitch. It was like the mom yelling at. It was pure. It was actual anger, I think. And I mean, the looks that she was shooting all of us. I was trying to dodge them. I was trying to like put my head down a little bit, but I knew I could feel the eyes digging into me. I knew.
Then Jeffrey came over to like swim on the raft. She's like, "Get out of here!"
Oh yeah, he got denied. Instant denial. But they were great tanks, so we wore them for the rest of the day because we wanted every time she looked at us for any reason whatsoever, she would be reminded who we're celebrating.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was kind of a thoughtful gesture.
And so did I. And you know what? Joe brought up the eagle shorts. Where it's like a American flag with the eagle's face is like on your crotch and basically the beak is where your dick would be.
I mean, I wish he would have got those because he showed us a picture on Amazon. I'm sure they were like $40, which is, it's like, $40 to wear it once to make your friends laugh is a lot to spend to make your friends laugh. I'm not saying I haven't done it. But I'm just saying it's a lot to spend.
No.
But
maybe get some sponsors and it will.
It's true. Hey, Manscaped, eagle beak, cock schlong beak, swim trunks.
Yeah, it's like the perfect pitch. Like, make sure your friends can see the beak.
Yeah, let the beak be seen.
Cut the jungle down. Manscaped,
dude. These things, we write them themselves. They write themselves on this. So, but. I think the world is waiting, Cerny. How hard in the doghouse were you for the shirt prank, or were you able to dodge the doghouse?
I dodged it. I think she, at the end of the day, she realized it was just a gesture of
love.
Yeah.
Yes,
and I think she called us children, but that was about it.
Well, I'm not one to deny it.
No, that's why I said it's fair enough.
Fair
enough statement.
That's fine. You call it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, it was that just started off. That was great. The kids were pumped, and I gotta say, last year, Joe previously has done what would Joe cook up?
Last year he did a brisket.
Okay, so he got like a smoker or something.
Yeah.
And then he was, and I remember. He was texting like, "Oh, I've been up at 3 a.m. and they had to wake up at 7, and he was up at 1." Like, it just takes a lot of babysitting.
All night, yeah. Because he started I think he started the smoker at like 8 p.m., 10 p.m., some shit like that, and I was like,
"Damn!"
And it was windy last year, so the wind kept fucking with his fire.
And he missed. He just slept through a shift, or nodded off, right?
Yeah.
And he had a baby, like a toddler, right?
Yeah.
It was probably 2.5 or something, which, anyway. So this year, Joe, I would say, give credit where credit's due. Genius. He hit the easy button. Boom. Went with Chipotle, and it was such a great option.
It was.
I
It just showed up. We all just fixed your own plate.
They had everything. They had every rice, bean, guacamole, cheese, meat,
You name it.
veggies, make tacos, make a bowl, like whatever you want to make a salad. And Jink Joe said it was like $10 per person, kind of was what it like averaged out. I'm like, I would gladly give you $40.
Yeah, that way you're not stuck in front of the grill. Because after the smoking, remember he had to do grill work too for burgers, dogs. He was still on the clock.
Yeah, and then we couldn't hang out with him, and he's, Joe's heating up over there in more ways than one in front of the grill, and by the time we get him, he's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
But we got to make sure he's properly hydrated.
Yep, and he's got his the Rocky Mountain
lattes.
The Rocky Mountain lattes. Keep him going.
He has the best names for the Coors Lights.
Yeah,
that was great. But we had a great day. We did some swimming. We did eating
water balloon battles.
How many water balloons do you think we had? 500?
Oh yeah, those those ones you fill up multiple at a time are
game changer.
Game changer.
If you haven't heard about this and you are even do water balloons one time a year, just don't get the regular ones. Get these. They're at Target now. They're at Costco. They fill up 30 balloons in like seconds.
And you don't have to tie them.
You don't have to tie them, and they're pre-tied. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
I mean these...
From our old days,
Oh,
tying water balloons, my fingers would be raw as hell.
Yeah, and you get like 5 done, and you're like, "This is good," and you chuck them, and or when you're running away, you fucking fumble one.
Yeah, you drop them.
You drop it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. But anyway, great water balloon battle. Your son got nailed.
Oh yeah,
he took one. It was he took it to the nuts nearly.
Oh yeah,
or just in the general vicinity. That's tough.
It's generally a little bit to the left, but yeah.
And I know it pops, but it still hits you, and it still is like, it hurts.
It stings.
And I threw. It was one of those water balloon kind of like Vlade Divacs,
Skyhook.
Yeah, Skyhook. I was walking towards Cern and Joe, and I'm going, and I see my wife going over there, and one of my kids are over there. So I'm like, this target acquired. Let me lock it in. And I'm like, I'm going to do the throw that I'm intending to drill her right in the head with it. But I know it's not, it's the one I want, but I know it's not going to happen, right? And it's going to bust somewhere. This one
came off the fingers perfect.
Oh, it just rolled. I had a great little finger roll on it too. I caught good wind and good flow with the water. Hit her right in the hat. The hat didn't want any part of it and just fucking garage sailed out. Then it just, boom, busted all the way down. And she said she looked over and she's like, Joe and Cern just froze like solid. And you guys were all like, oh my God, I can't believe
I saw the balloon. I was like, oh my God.
Because he was right in front of you, but it was just this Skyhook. I'm like, oh, let me see. Let me get cute with this. Oh, shit. Oh, I accidentally did exactly what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah, I did freeze first. I was like, oh my God. I don't know if he meant to smoke her in the head or
the hat. The hat just flew off.
The hat flew off. I was like, oh man.
I was like, oh boy.
I don't know if I would even do that.
Joe did start cackling pretty good, and I tried to hide, but I think it was pretty obvious who tossed it.
Yeah, because I remember her saying, "Did you just hit me in the head?" You're like, the kids were over there.
I was trying to get our youngest son. I was trying to take the kids out. So I thought they had a good time. The fireworks. Joe did a great job acquiring. I think he got some sales or something. I don't know.
Yeah, some BOGO deal. I think he was going for. Yeah, he had some good fireworks going on.
Yeah,
he had a good pace.
He did. He had the bucket. He had all the safety first. He had the good Bic lighter.
Oh yeah, the long
Not me. I had the fucking just I burning my finger. My thumb was burnt from all the times flicking the regular Bic.
Oh yeah, the flint. Yeah.
Trying to light all those dud sparklers.
Yeah, they're getting worse. They're more expensive, but they're worse.
I'm just going to start torching the whole box. Just set the box on fire, and eventually it'll get there.
That one kid across the street, he had like a sword sparkler.
I saw that. Joe said that was $20.
The thing lasted just as long as a regular sparkler. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'd be pissed.
$20 for, yeah, I mean, that would be, it probably would last you as much as when you light a box of sparklers. You take all 5 of them out and you just set them all on fire.
Yeah.
But it was
Pretty
cool,
much.
and you could probably use the sword after, but $20? No thanks.
No.
Rather buy a t-shirt
Yeah.
with my friend's wife's face on it.
It was Celebration Day.
A Celebration Day t-shirt. That's how I'd rather spend my $20, not on a sword sparkler.
I could reuse it next year, too.
Yeah. Oh, of course. It's going to be, that thing will be threadbare by the time. I'll tell you what, you bury me in that thing. Just throw it on top of the heap.
Be like Grant. You just Grant and his horse, but Chip in the celebration tanks.
Or if I get, how much do you think to get a bust, like a marble bust done of myself? And you guys can kind of like, I'll have some people will put different things over my shoulders. You could just put a jersey on every once in a while, like if the Giants are doing well, like just rotate it through. Just all gravestones, and there's just one marble bust.
You'll be trending on like TikTok or something. Be like,
oh yeah,
this the ghost of Chipper. He keeps up with the times. Look at this. It's got a new
and
jersey.
Dana's just grilling my ass on Twitter. Still, he's like still hating. He's like, fucking shit, bandwagon fan. He's shitting on me. I'm dead. But my marble bust stays up. With
put another Golden State Warriors jersey on. Beyond the grave.
Go Dubs, Dub Nation.
You should like record a few too. You like
a couple.
Your voice, where you just play it.
Yeah, or we'll have some AI.
Oh yeah,
AI
like
thing.
they did with Tupac or whatever, right? The laser.
Dude, how many? We have more hours of content than the Eagles. Recorded content worth of podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Like the Grateful Dead, all their tours, they probably have more, but we're right there. I mean, we got a million fucking episodes.
Grateful Dead, Chip and Stern.
Yeah. Boom. Recorded podcast content. And it's like, those are two ends of the spectrum. 0 listens and probably the most hours. Anyway. Yeah, they could put it into some language AI thing, and it probably has perfect.
Have a conversation.
Yeah, perfect conversation. So. Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Such a great Joe's mom's house. Thanks again. I know she's probably not a regular listener, but pool is great. You could see in it perfectly balanced chemicals. They have nice shade. So if you want, it was a great setup.
Perfect,
great setup.
Perfect blockage on those trees.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm ready to go back next year already.
Yeah. With our new tanks.
Yeah, new tanks and trunks. We'll get those eagle things.
Eagle beaks.
Eagle beaks. Oh my.
Oh, we started talking about the eagle beaks. Remember?
Oh yeah. Oh, we were talking really about. That's one thing that always comes up at these 4th of July hangs is everyone reminding me about stories and situations that we've all been in that I have no recollection of.
We used to play these games. Basically, you beat the shit out of your friends.
Yeah.
When they're not looking. Eagle beaks. Basically, you form your hand into like a beak and you poke in a very soft spot like an armpit or back of the knee or something where it just hurts.
And so you take your first two, like your pointer and your middle finger, and you kind of bend it down, and you just fucking jam it in their
side
armpit or in their side. Like you're just fucking with your friends.
I mean,
this is the game that we would
Vulcan. Remember, he's Vulcan open back, and you just the guy would be down tying his shoe for your cleats for baseball, and Vulcan open back, you just open hand palm, just right.
So
in the back. Oh,
instead of just being able to openly punch your friends, you just had to announce it with some made up words that we said. So if you were gonna hit him with like an open hand in the back, that was a Vulcan or something.
Yeah,
is that what
Yeah, and then
so you have to announce it.
Yeah, and then if you announced it, it was perfectly okay. No one would be mad.
Yeah, that was within the rules. But you couldn't just like if CERN was walking near an apple tree and he was reaching up to grab an apple, I couldn't give him the eagle beak without declaring Eagle Beak,
and
then because then he would get a free thing back to you.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Oh, that was. I didn't even fuck with it because I didn't want that coming back. Having somebody the force to wind up to give you a full on.
Because it's like, remember our rationale was like, if you announce it gives a person. I mean, even though you're already like mid-cock.
It's mid-flight, dude.
Mid-flight, you announce it, but still the rules say he had a
late hit. Definitely a late hit flag would be thrown.
Yeah. The shin busters.
Kick your shin.
With the shin with the bat or your cleats.
And then somehow it got way out of hand, obviously. Without saying, because I'll tell you what, because if it didn't get out of hand, we'd probably still be playing it.
To this day, like that movie Tag 20th, or whatever.
Yeah. In 2023, we would still be playing this game if it didn't get way out of hand. What happened, do you think? What sort of injury happened, or did the coach get mad at us that we had to shut it down?
I think we did a open back to DJ. Remember, DJ used to get mad. He was the only guy that
had a very quick.
Yeah, he was always like the nicest guy, but he was very quick until he wasn't. And then it wasn't like in between where you're like, guys, come on, that fucking hurt. He'd be like mad. He would like square up.
Yeah, and he was I wouldn't want to fight him. I didn't want to fight anybody.
No, but yeah, he was a real big guy.
He was a big dude,
and he was like, he had like the.
He was their
hidden
closer.
Strength. Yeah, he had like a hidden strength. Like he looked at him like, oh, he's a big guy, and but he wasn't like ultra like muscular. Like he didn't. But he was like strong. Like
he was just he was a strong dude. He was like a wide receiver or cornerback in football.
And I think he was a tight end. Actually, I think he was a tight end.
Okay, damn. So we just pissed him off. Why do we fuck with people that can Why would we?
Maybe it was like the thrill of the. I don't know. I remember him tying his shoe. I don't know who got him. I think it was Dana. Vulcan opened back and he was like turned red and like stood up and was like furious, and it was like, and I think like someone had like, okay, guys, I think we ought to come together and like have a truce. Like, okay. And slowly, like we started like, I don't know if we got rid of it initially. Remember, we like, okay. Open backs and shin busters are off limits now. You can only do thigh sluggers and shit. Like, remember we used to do those too? Like, okay, those are still good.
So we started putting some regulations in.
Yeah, and then Eagle Beaks came next.
Okay.
After Dana got me on the Eagle Beak, in my arm, I remember because I was like stretching.
Yeah.
He's like, big Eagle Beak. And my armpit hurt for like 3 days. He's like, all right, I think we need to make this illegal. I was like, I'm down. My fucking armpit's still. It's 3 days after the fact.
Dude, or and you're bruised. You just have these horrible bruises on you. Cuts. Our parents probably thought we were getting beaten at practice, dude. I mean, we were, I guess.
The shins. I remember like, because people would do it with the cleats. You would do the cleat. You would kick the person in the shin with a cleat, and it was like you'd be fucking bleeding.
Yeah, it would bust you open. And my wife and I, because we dated in high school, we had one because we were also playing this thing. Belly button attacks where you take your finger and you just jam it into their belly button.
Man.
But you would have to yell it out too. But one time she made me bleed. She made my belly button actually bleed because she fucking stabbed me so hard, and I was like, enough. I was like, I can't do it. Enough of this. I'm bleeding.
It joins the list with open back and shin buster.
Because it just puts that like boil of anxiety. Anytime you're around someone, you're like, I got to be on. I'm like,
you can never just.
Do you remember at lunch when they would let all the classes out? And I remember lunch and breaks would turn into, Vulcan, Shin Buster, open season.
Chip and I have to go like back to back and like walk through the fucking quad.
I legit remember walking with like my arms tucked to my side to not lift my armpits up like a T-Rex walking around and just being like, where is this person? Because they're going to kick me in the shin. They're going to get me back. Dana's going to get me back.
Yep.
Oh, man. It's not a way to live, man. It's not a way to live.
I think it morphed into, remember we used to do cup checks. Remember that kind of.
Oh, yeah.
That took the place of the Vulcan game after a while.
Yeah. So we were just talking about all these stories. And then every time we're talking, Joe has some piece of information that is we didn't remember then
Yep.
Cerny knows 80%, and I'm like 1%. I'm like, huh? I'm like, what year was this? And Dana's like yelling at me, Chip, you're so, you never fucking remember, you know.
You don't remember anything.
And I look over, and your wife is just, she's just like shaking her head like, oh my gosh.
Like,
And
well, how are
Kristen's
you-
like, yeah, they did all this stuff.
Yeah,
And my wife's just
there's
sitting
no
there.
exaggeration or lie. This is true statements. You had to be, if you were changing in the locker room, you had to like put your back into a fucking corner and like change so you can keep an eye on the
Yeah.
your surroundings. Otherwise, you're getting
just-
you get fucking hit with
Someone's-
something.
It's, and it was just being stupid kid. Like,
Yeah, remember
Guys.
Mayo used to had the perk where quick grab acid.
yeah, that's all it is. It's just grab ass.
acid. Yeah,
You're just fucking around with your friends. And instead of, like talking, well, we talk shit too. So
yeah.
I guess
So
I
we did both.
I can't make this.
I remember it'd be like someone would get fucking hit in the thigh and they'd be like writhing on the ground and you would be laughing and then you'd fucking get it too because your eyes would be closed. You had a good hearty laugh
yeah.
going on like oh, whack, oh, and then you would join them fucking down there on the ground like
yeah, and then just from the coach, like there was a centralized coaching office, and it literally had a wall in between it that all the coaches. And
Yeah.
one was for the boys locker room, one was for the girls, but there was a big wall in the middle, but the coaches could go between both, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or there was something like that. Anyway, and then you would just hear, they would have the door open, and then you just be like, hey, cut it out. You just hear yelling, like, quit fucking around, all this stuff.
knock this shit off.
Yeah.
Get dressed. Or they'll start like announcing times 5 minutes or we're
Yeah.
running laps. Like, oh fuck.
But
I haven't taken one part of our clothes off yet. Damn it.
And I do now. It makes perfect sense why certain teachers wouldn't even go into the locker room. Like why the PE teacher, I'm like, why wouldn't he come in to like watch us? Because if you're in there, you got to start calling. You can't let all this fucking bullshit happen, right? You got to put it.
You're a party to the crime.
Yeah. So you just remove yourself from the situation. And you heard they were fucking around, but people fuck around all the time in the locker room.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. You probably have to ask your wife, like, what went on in the girls' locker room. Was there a lot of horseplay?
I
just don't see it. But I mean, I could be wrong. I just don't know.
yeah.
Maybe not.
I mean, and I'll tell you what I think about fan. They're in there. They're like playing grab titty. They're like, oh, let me, ooh. They're just all like jumping. And they're like, wait, how'd the floor become a trampoline? Oh, this is weird. Ooh.
That's
And
what happened. We got it.
that's what I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Our side's a war zone. And
It's literally there's battling happening. And it's multiple. You're leveraged against multiple different parties sometimes, which is not a good.
no,
You're
it's not a
overextended.
good-
That's not a good place.
and you don't really have any allies. You're just
Trust no one.
it's a fucking free for all.
Trust no one. I think there's a couple people. I feel like I could definitely trust CERN to not fucking backstab me.
No, yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Dana, yes, most of the time, but
But
also I think
if the opportunity was too
Yes.
good, they'll take it.
that was my top concern.
They're taking it.
I was like, they're solid. They're really solid. Don't get me wrong. Great guys. But if something showed up really enticing, I don't think they could say no.
And I
And
couldn't
it
blame
involved
them
me
either.
being the victim.
Because I think I got a few times, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't even be mad at that because
I
I'm probably doing the same thing.
So that was, but we only would fuck around with the, we weren't like,
Yeah, there was a
picking
couple
on
guys on the
strangers.
team that
Or-
didn't want to. They didn't want any part of our
Yeah.
shit.
And then we talked about how we were not in like incredible shape with all the laps that we would have had to run in high school for running
It's
our
like
mouth.
peak physical condition there. Shit.
I remember they would do they basically try to break for the fall ball. So if you were playing
Oh, yeah.
baseball, like all of us were, in what time? Like school starts in August, late August or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
September, fall ball, which, let's be honest, it fucking sucks. It's cold. It's wet. You don't want to be like getting all muddy and wet all the time playing baseball.
No, and you think like, okay, yeah, usually if it rains, like, okay, you can't play.
Yeah. Nope.
Like, yes, no,
Hit the
no. Fall,
cages.
Yep, we're going to the cages, or we're going to be doing conditioning. We'll be like, fuck.
Conditioning. And I remember the first 2 weeks of practices were basically like, okay, to start practice, we're going to run a bleacher mile.
Oh, yeah.
And so there would be a set of bleachers on each side of the track, and you would run a 400, like one lap around the track. But when you got, instead of running straight, you would go up the bleachers and do up and down the bleachers, and you do that 4 times.
Yep.
So that probably took 15 to
minutes, 20 minutes,
20 minutes. But I mean, it was basically hell.
Yeah, and then you would do the. Remember we did the that 3
and
mile
it's like
run.
80 degrees at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes it
was hot. It was like, we'd warm up doing the 3 mile run, and then we come back and do sprints and like push-ups.
Damn, I don't remember any of this. So
they
were just trying to break the weak
with
people.
us. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. He used to run with us, but then he obviously wouldn't run the fucking sprints. That was the backbreaker, wasn't the the 3 mile thing. You're like, oh fuck, I've survived it. Like, all right, line up, doing suicides. Like, oh god.
Yeah. And then if there was any back talk or just general chatter,
horsing around,
you would have to run a pole. So on the baseball field, there's a left field foul pole and a right field, and there's the track. You run from the pole along the track to the pole. So I don't know,
pole to pole, and then back down to the home plate. Yeah,
yeah.
Tripods. That's what they call them. Tripods. The poles were like, you would run the poles.
That was like a pitcher. As a pitcher, I had to do a lot of that. So
there was like a mini scrimmage going on, but they still wanted to punish a couple clowns, so we'd have to run poles while the scrimmage was going on.
That would be so classic, and that was a thing that would only happen in fall ball because it's all unofficial. It's just practicing, so you kind of have these scrimmages. But, if you were running your mouth, maybe coach would send you on a couple. You'd be running in the outfield while the game is going on because you fucking
if you're up at I remember like I was up at the plate. I don't know who was running. I think it's either Joe. I remember the coach just like, you can go home early if you hit him. Kind of like as you're running. Like, not Tony fucking Gwynn.
Yeah.
I'm sure as shit trying. Don't worry. I was way ahead of you, coach. I was already going to try to hit him, but.
Oh, man. But yeah, we'd have to run those things. Well, I didn't know who we had. We played varsity junior year and senior year. We had 2 different coaches. Which one gave us the most polls?
I think junior, because we were
really
senior year actually. Yeah, no, we ran a lot for senior year too because he would get mad at everything.
I guess we just ran a lot in general.
Yeah, we did. I think it was like they were talking about like one of the kids was talking about their mile time was like 7 something. I was like, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever run it? I said, when I was a junior, I think I ran a 6:15 mile. They're like, no, I said, you have no idea of how much time we had.
It's all we were doing was running.
That was back when. Remember when we used to get in trouble? I think it was JV or whatever. I remember you did something. And they said, all right, everyone, remember we had to go run on the other fucking field, the football field down on the lower side.
Oh,
all the way across.
Fuck.
And they'd be like, everyone can thank Chipper. Go ahead and thank him when you go over the hill so I don't see it.
Yeah, I do.
Punching Chipper in the ribs. And you're like,
yeah,
okay,
I took some lumps on that one. Fuck. I do remember that a couple times. The only reason I was doing it is because all my friends would laugh.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, it's the best. It was the best feeling to be in high school to make your friends laugh. That's what I was doing.
I remember, I got in trouble for throwing knuckleballs across the diamond. That was the one thing you couldn't
do. During a scrimmage.
Chipper's at first, like, ground ball, got it. We'll throw a knuckleball. Like, if I see one more fucking knuckleball, you guys are going to be doing push-ups for the rest of the day.
God.
And I remember, like, I think I could sneak one by him. His back was turned, and like I'd load up, and then like as soon as I release it, he'd turn around.
Oh my God.
Oh, here we go. I'm done.
And then especially if there was the problem is if you had too many assistant coaches, because that's just like if you had one coach for how many kids on a varsity baseball team?
We probably like 18
like 15,
or 21 or
18
something like
or
that.
20. Okay. One coach for 18 kids, 16 to 18-year-olds. You're not. You're missing 90% of what's happening.
Yeah.
But if you have like 5 assistant coaches, then you're catching a lot more of it.
Yeah, because you had one of the because we used to do stations.
More eyes.
We used to have stations like you'd have a ground ball station, and a fly ball station, and a pitchers and catchers. There's a whole bunch of, and we have to rotate and do all this other shit. So they always had a coach. At the varsity level, you had coaches at each station. I mean, coaching and giving instructions. But
and we had a pitching coach. So I would that was the coach I would interact with most, and then
mine was for infield.
Yeah, and then there would be a hitting coach that would be running the hitting drills and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was good.
We're throwing sliders in the cage and shit.
Just because a drill would be okay. First of all, if you say Chip and Cern, you're paired up. Fuck all is going to happen. That's for sure. Okay, get down there. 10 swings off the tee. 10 soft toss, 10 underhand, whatever.
45 degrees and
So then, Cern's hitting first, boom, but then we switch, then I hit. We'd be fucking around. We'd be, look at this Griffey stance I'm doing. Yeah. Cern's would throw me a slider. I'm like, woo, I'm hitting left-handed and shit. Just
we would always start out right, and then the attention span would we start drifting, and then we would be nowhere close to where we're supposed to be. And the coach was like, "Y'all done over there? Yep.
And the ball's all over the place. We didn't have we still have the tee out, and everyone's gone doing the next thing. And we're still fucking around. Or you try to hit Joe to the other cage.
Yeah. Or you'd be pitching to him, and you have the little L screen.
Yeah.
And then I think Joe was mouthing off, and you fucking drilled him.
Such great times. We spent hours out there. That's all year round. That's pretty much all we did was
that's what
stuff.
When I was doing baseball and before Little League and
the coaching,
and the kids were saying whatever you played baseball. I said I've logged more hours on the field than you guys have been alive. I'm not exaggerating either.
Yeah,
it was a good 4. Even when we had athletic PE, you'd probably get 4 to 5 hours every day out there.
Yeah. And then during the summer, you maybe in between school being out and summer ball starting, you maybe had a week off?
Yeah, a
maybe
week,
2?
Then you're back at it.
So then it would be, depending on what you were doing, maybe we'd be playing, and then sometimes we're playing multiple teams.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing American Legion because it has games on Thursdays and Saturdays, and then we're playing this other thing, and it has Monday and Thursday games.
And then you're playing and you have your tournaments where you'd play double headers and
hey, we're going to Florida, Arizona, just going all over the fucking place. Double games on Saturday.
Yeah,
it was a lot, dude.
We had that one. When it was hot, I was outside doing something, and Ron was like, "It's hot." I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know what though?" I said, "This kind of reminds me of baseball." I said, "It used to be, or it'd be hot as fuck, and you'd be out there." Have the ice rags. Oh yeah, especially in the infield too with the dirt, the heat radiating off the dirt. You're like, oh god.
And it's just we were in high school, junior, senior year, when Under Armour basically got invented.
Yeah, it wasn't even around until our later years.
Yeah, and at first we were like, hold on, you're telling me when it's 95, wear a long sleeve shirt?
It cools your body?
It cools you? I'm like, what the fuck? And then everyone in the major leagues started having. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yep, I'll wear it.
I'll take some of those. They were even back then when they came out, they were still $60 or something.
Oh yeah,
they weren't cheap.
No,
but that helped. That helped the sweating situation for sure.
I think that's because that's what that was their first stuff because they didn't have shoes or none of that shit then.
No, they only had the base layer stuff.
Yeah,
and the little mock turtlenecks.
Yeah,
heat gear. There you go. That's what it was called. They had cold gear and heat gear. So basically, wear when it's hot or wear when it's cold. The cold stuff was good for fall ball. It was thermal. It was all. I remember that shit was nice
and thick, but you can still have all the flexibility of movement. It was nice.
It was. I see why they're a huge brand, mega brand now, basically. But that's how they got their start. We're basically early adopters, I think, probably, right, CERN?
I like to think myself of that.
Okay. Where we'll take our shares however they send it over. I'm not Robinhood or this Fidelity, whatever.
Whatever. It's fine. Just
not picky. The Venmo also.
I just want starting price. Starting stock price, please.
Your IPO launch stock. Oh, man, well, you're back at work. I have more vacation, but I'm like you. I think I'm gonna need to rest, study the back of my eyelids for a few minutes here, recharge the batteries a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, we brought the people the heat this week.
We did,
as we usually do. The heat was there in Roseville, and we just parlayed it right into,
brought it to the mics.
To the episode. We brought it to the mics. But yeah. Anywho, till next time. I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
Cheers.